From the land of sky blue waters, welcome to the Sota Pod. Isha Jerome here, alongside the state of hoppy, Jessi Pierce, SpokedZ, and we have some more guests showing up as well. Welcome back to our season prediction live stream here on the Sota Pod YouTube channel. If you're listening on the podcast, don't forget to jump over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We'll start with Jessi. How are you?
I'm a little, as you can see, disappointed. Classic Vikings game. Terrible weekend for Minnesota sports overall, but otherwise, I'm great. Isha, how are you?
I'm good. I will say, and Hoppy's going to roll his eyes. Z's just going to laugh. It was for me anyways, it was a great weekend for Minnesota sports. Shout out to the Legacy Fighting Alliance at Mystic Lake Casino. All, like, pretty much the entire fight card was full of Minnesota boys, ex-Gophers, and it was awesome. And I think the Minnesotans went like 8 for 9. And the best thing, the icing on the cake here, there was a Wisconsin cat who went up against this like Vietnamese kid, and guess who Minnesota was rooting for? The Vietnamese kid, and they were fooling the Wisconsin guy. It was hilarious. I was like, they're really not rooting for the U.S.? Oh, man. The Wisconsin hate does run deep here, and I absolutely love it. So I do want to just give a little shout out to the LFA. They put on a great show, and they're going to come back for three more times this calendar year.
I like it.
So there you go. Z, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Just pissed off. Damon Hunt got hurt, and he's out for the rest of the game. So that's where I'm at.
Saw Mateo in our chat. He was not happy.
Yeah, took an elbow to the face and is, I guess, not coming back. And it looked pretty not great. So, good start.
Positive vibes. Hoppy, how are you?
Just everything we expect from the Vikings. I have no more to say.
Ron, indeed, finally hit the big and brought in the great Jessi Pierce, the GOAT of Minnesota Wild sports.
We'll go with that. Sure. Thanks, Ron.
It's great to have you on for the first time.
Gun-Toting Granny's here as well. He was looking good too, talking about Hunt. He was. But look, we will sulk about the Vikings later. We will sulk about what happened to Hunt later, because we have to get into our season preview here, and this is a staple here on the Sota Pod, both on the audio side and on the YouTube side. Even though we weren't as active on our YouTube channel last year, we still had a lot of fun with this. So thank you to everyone who is joining. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely give Jessi a good amount of time to plug everything that she does as well. But Hoppy, where should we start? What division do you want to start with here? Because I'm giddy. I have one or two hot takes here, and I feel like I'm either going to be made fun of by all you guys for the rest of the season, or I'm going to be like that one guy who made a couple like deep cuts here, and I'm going to look like the smartest dude by the end of the season.
That's unlikely. Probably be that dude. But we're going to be starting with the Pacific. I didn't know. I think Seth's going to be on here in like a couple minutes if we wanted to rag the puck for a minute before he joins.
I mean, we can talk about Vikings. I mean,
Yay.
Like,
it's just the
like,
same old shit.
do we? I mean, were there any highlights? I mean, was Kirk blinded out there by the nice sunny day we had? Like what was going on, Jessi?
Nothing. It's awful. It's miserable to watch. You can't hold on to a gosh darn football to save your lives. My 6-year-old can hold a ball better than anybody for the Minnesota Vikings. There's no O-line. The defense does all the work, and that's not great. There's just nothing. You target Justin Jefferson once in the first quarter. Trash. I don't even care. It's not even a big deal. Whatever. It's hockey season.
That is true. It is hockey season. Mateo in the chat saying, I love the Vikings so much, finally committing to a tank while trying to convince Jefferson to a long-term deal.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Let's talk about Jeppe in the net. He looks solid. Z, thoughts?
Yeah, he's been real good, doing exactly what makes him so good. He makes all of these saves that are not easy look incredibly easy just with his positioning. He's moving really well, but pretty much stopping everything that's coming at him. He's faced a few power plays, and they've had some high danger chances, and he just saved another one right there. So he's got 26 saves so far with 15 minutes left. And they almost just scored, but okay. Yeah, no, he looks great though. And 2-1, let's go.
There we go. There we go. Hoppy, any takeaways from hockey this weekend or football?
No, nothing from hockey, other than Logan Cooley is going to be an absolute problem.
Love it.
And I've just resigned to the fact that it's probably for the best that he didn't play college hockey because it wouldn't have even been fair.
Right.
So,
What's up, Seth?
Sorry about that. The Highway 23 detour between St. Cloud and Wilmer added some time that I was not anticipating. So that's fun.
Good old Wilmer. I'm actually familiar with Wilmer because my roommate flew there one time. We stopped in the little airport there in Wilmer. So there you go.
Solid. Ooh.
Flew over the beautiful plains of Wilmer there. But Seth, right on cue. Right on cue. What are you drinking there, buddy?
The Sierra Nevada Wild Little Thing Slightly Sour Ale.
Looks good. Looks good.
Sierra Nevada Brewing Company.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I mean, since you opened up the show, the segment with that, shout out to Drecker Brewing, Drecker Fest. Last weekend was amazing, and I'm drinking their Super Mega Lager right now, which was, I believe, on tap there when we were there as well. And I know some people criticize me. They're like, why are you buying a lager from a craft brewery? Like, why don't you go for something a little bit special? But I'm a simple man, and if craft breweries make a mean lager, I'm gonna give it a try. The can art is on point for Drecker. So cheers, guys. Let's all sulk together.
No bowl.
No, I learned my lesson. You're not supposed to have lagers in a bowl.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. All right, let's get to it, guys. Pacific Division. How do you want to start, Hoppy?
Yeah. So everyone understands, we've got the consensus rankings here across the five of us and new father Dev, who may pop in for 5 minutes, 2 hours. We don't really know. He's kind of a wild card, but we'll start here with the Pacific Division, and this division is going to be presented by Waggle Golf. Our consensus rankings here. We have the Vegas Golden Knights coming in first, followed by the Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, Seattle Kraken, Calgary Flames, Vancouver Canucks, Anaheim Ducks, San Jose Sharks. Before we go in and show what everyone picked for their rankings, any initial concerns or surprises for anybody?
Honestly, it seems pretty par for the course there. I don't know, nothing standing out for me personally.
This feels like the only one that's not going to get people angry.
I think so. I just looked down at my notes. I'm like, the Pacific seems like the easiest one to kind of predict and call here.
I think Anaheim might be a little better than 7, but otherwise, yeah, I have no qualms with the selections there.
I feel like the Flames at 5 might be
High.
Too high. 2 spots too high.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't we just switch Anaheim and Calgary? That's what probably should be done, huh?
The thing with Anaheim, it's like this could be a year where they take a next step, or it could be exactly like last year. Whereas Calgary, it could very well have been a mulligan because they do still have a good team. So that one's tough. I guess that one is tough, and that's kind of the only one that I guess you would think about switching around. By the way, shout out to RJ in the live chat here, telling everyone to don't forget to hit the like button. RJ, you're doing God's work. Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
I am curious to see what happens with Vegas, though. Like,
yeah,
is Adin Hill gonna do Adin Hill things like the playoff Adin Hill, or is he going to revert back to just kind of being like a good but not like number one in your division type goalie? Like, they didn't really bring anyone. They didn't really make any additions, unless I'm just like completely spacing.
Well, except for Logan
Maxime Comtois
coming back.
I forgot that he's on a PTO, which to me is crazy because I really liked Maxime Comtois. Like, obviously last, I think, year or two hasn't gone his way, but I'm shocked that he honestly just didn't get a contract, 24 years old Can play center, can play wing, tons of skill, works super hard. Like, I don't know why Anaheim decided to pass on him, but I'll be curious to see if he kind of makes that team. I don't think they have any cap space, but negative $4 million actually. But I am curious just to see what happens with Vegas. I mean, they gave Barbashev the bag too, so he better, continue just doing what he did last year. But I'm with like the lack of like huge additions, and like, I mean, I still believe in the goaltending to an extent, but I feel like there's still some question marks there. But on paper, they should be obviously really good again, and it seems they're pretty balanced throughout the lineup. But I still think there are some question marks that could like really hurt, especially early on. But we'll see.
All right. Well, here are the rankings across the six of us. While I give everyone a minute here to kind of peruse and decide who they want to attack, everyone go check out Waggle Golf. Especially, I don't know if anyone's tuning in from the Texas area, specifically Dallas, but new storefront opening up down there. Their first brick and mortar. But to those of you who are smart and don't live in Texas, we send you to getyourwaggleon.com. Use promo code SP10 for 10% off your full order. It's a one-time use, so make sure you load up your cart. We're going to start here with Isha, because I'm sure he has just plenty of things to say. Anyone in particular that you have issues with here?
Not really, to be perfectly. I mean, Jessi, the Anaheim Ducks are a little too high.
I didn't realize I put them at 3. I was like I said, I was hungover this morning. I just kind of like crushed it out. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Anaheim's a little bit of a reach there, but I mean, I put the Canucks under Anaheim, so who am I to talk?
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm like, I don't like Anaheim at 3. I don't know what was going. I mean, I like Anaheim. I'm usually a Ducks fan. I love John Gibson and I love Trevor Zegras, whatever happens there. But yeah, retrospect, I'd bump that one.
Mateo loves it. Saying Anaheim at 3 is elite.
It's just that's really, you know what? I'm going to, maybe they will be really good and I will look like a genius, right? Like that's the goal. Like I threw it out there. We'll see.
That's one of those picks where if it ends up that they do make some noise, you're like, I called it from the beginning. And if not, you're like, it wasn't going to happen anyway.
No, if not, I'll say Tito's called it, so it's fine. All good there.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Kings at 1 though.
I really like on paper what LA has going on for them this year. I think it's gonna be a really solid team. And I just like Vegas, I kind of obviously cup champs. There's always that quote unquote hangover the next year, but I think LA is gonna be the best out of the Pacific this year.
I just want to say I called Hoppy's perfectly. Like I'm just looking at yours, and that's exactly. I was like, if I put myself in Hoppy's shoes, that's exactly what what I would, the order that I would have put them in. No, I think LA is going to be good. Seattle, I mean, man, they surprised us last year. I don't think they're going to digress too much. For me, like, and this might be just like personal because it like hurts, but like I just until the Canucks show me something, I just can't put any faith in them. So they. Like even less than the Ducks.
That's
and
fair.
Maybe I'm just a salty Canucks fan, but like, yeah, they got to start making some noise, and the ownership and the general managers they gotta do better. They gotta do better.
I love how we all agree that San Jose is just absolute trash,
except for Dev.
But he still has them down at the bottom there. It's not
on top of your number 3 Ducks.
On top of my number 3 Ducks.
Oh God.
Urban asking, don't the Kings have Talbot as number 1?
That's my biggest worry. Like I put the Kings at 2, but I was not happy about it. Like they give me, even though they've got really good defensive forwards, their goaltending and blue line scares me to the point that they give me like Florida Panthers President's Cup vibes, where they're going to win every game like 7-6.
They will either find a way to overcome it, or they're going to have to make a move at the deadline. Like there's no either or, and I feel like it trends more towards them having to try to find a way to get Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that would be something.
That would address it.
This economy, like, what aren't they going to have anymore? That'd be incredible, actually, if they were to send Pierre-Luc Dubois back
Yeah.
Connor Hellebuyck.
We actually want to just send him back to you, please.
Mm-hmm.
Help us out. No, I have Hellebuck going to a different team that we'll talk about in a little bit.
Oh,
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, and Vegas, I'm kind of with UZ. I don't know what's going to happen with their goaltending, but they're going to be a good team. Like, I would put them above the Kings come playoff time. Regular season, though, I think they'll slip a little bit, but still top 3. And I think Edmonton Oilers are representing the West for the Cup. As risky of a move as that is historically,
what could go wrong?
there's a lot that can go wrong, but there's more that can go right. I don't know.
but it won't. It won't.
I know it won't, but fortunately, I have no emotional tie to this. So,
I mean, no more Mike Smith to let a goal in from center ice.
that,
And then yell at someone for turning the puck over.
Point to a team like, what are you doing, dude?
what are you doing?
Just get out of here.
It's
God damn it.
just the most disrespectful shit in the world. That was legitimately unbelievable. When he threw his hands in the air, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude? You just let it in from the other blue line. Oh my god, dude!"
He's
I
just
can't
screaming at
believe-
the rest of the team. Can somebody get a stick on that, please?
Unbelievable.
His resurgence story was crazy. Quickly, just a couple comments here. Costco, Vegas might sit stone for half the season again, sneak in at third and win the cup. Mateo saying Goose with the elite defense team. It's scary. And RJ just reminding everyone to like the video again. So thanks, buddy.
RJ doing Isha's job.
Doing the
Yeah.
Lord's work.
It's great. This is definitely like the closest division as far as like, I don't think we have a single team that has more than a 3-spot gap besides Dev and Jessi strongly contending the Anaheim Ducks.
I'm curious about Seth Seattle now that I'm looking at that too. Like I don't know, 3?
They're gonna
I
have
believe
some
in-
good young
I'm not going
players
to
coming
chirp
in.
him on that. I mean, they're not bad, but 3?
I believe in them slightly more than the Kings.
That makes sense with your rankings.
Yeah, right.
I
don't
just
know.
feel like
I don't think that they can get the goaltending they had last year. Like
Mm-mm.
that.
probably not. But I just feel like those are the best 4, and I don't know. Matty Beniers was the edge for me, but he is just one man.
All right. He is just one man. I don't know. I don't see anything else besides I think Vancouver will be better than everyone else does, clearly, but I'm not going to sit here and die on that hill by any means.
That's fair.
Yeah, like I said, I won't believe it until I see it.
Yeah, but you come from a place of hurt. Like that's an emotional selection for you. That is not a brain selection.
No,
for you.
and I said that. And I said that.
can understand, though,
So like
Isha,
maybe
you being that worried about the horrible leadership that's going to be brought forward by Quinn Hughes.
it's hardly leadership that I'm worried about. Leadership off the ice is what I'm worried about.
Oh, fiery message for Rick Tocchet.
What does that even mean?
I wasn't even talking about Rick. I was talking about
No, their whole front office is just.
Yeah, it's an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess. So, like I said, a little bit of emotion there. Hopefully, we have Jessi or we get Jessi back here. But again, we're going to continue here in our predictions video. Again, shout out to everyone joining. Sorry about the connection issue there. But which division should we roll on to next, Hoppy?
Well, next up is the big one, Central Division. And that is brought to us by none other than 7th Avenue Pizza. Let me just pull that one up here quick.
And again, Urban in the live chat here saying the reason Hughes being a captain is laughable because he needs size and intimidation, and Hughes is too small. Hey, I would have been fine if they brought in Ryan Reeves and gave him the C2, but again, I'm not too upset.
Well, they might be able to. Isn't he going to get waived?
I've not heard that, but if so, well, my hatred for Toronto will get even bigger because the disrespect for Reeves. My goodness,
Just the slander.
the absolute slander. All right, Hoppy, let's get to it.
All right. Here we have the outcome of the Central Division. As you can see with the tie at first, the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche, I definitely had to put Dallas first just because Colorado fans will absolutely lose it before they see that they're both won. The Minnesota Wild came in at 3 almost unanimously. Nashville Predators at 4. Arizona Coyotes, Saudi-backed Arizona Coyotes at 5. Tied with the St. Louis Blues, and again for the same reason, that they'll lose their minds with them at the second spot. They're looking like they're 6. 7th is the Winnipeg Jets. 8th, Chicago Blackhawks. I'm gonna lead with Z because I know he's got thoughts on at least one of these.
Well, I mean, first of all, I keep forgetting that Colorado gave Miles Woods 6 years. I keep forgetting about that. Now, that being said, I could see him being a very good player for them just with how fast he plays. When he's at his best, he can give you 20 goals, 20 assists. But the 6 year, it blows my mind. And then just a couple other fun ones, like bringing in Drouin to play with McKinnon, potentially, we'll see. But I feel like Rantanen just had the quietest, absurd year ever. I mentioned halfway through the year, I was just going through. Obviously, Landeskog was out, McKinnon was out at that point, Makar was out, and Mikko Rantanen was just putting up 3-4 points every single game, scoring game-winning goals late in games. He is unbelievable. But I mean, it's interesting though, because while the Drouin thing, that's fun. The Tatar, I can't believe they got Tatar for a 1 year, whatever, what was it, 1 million, 1.5.
He was supposed to go to Pittsburgh.
He's so good too. And then the reclamation project for Ryan Johansson. I mean, he had another good year 2 years ago. This past year was 50-50, but I'm just overall just get intrigued. I'll see if Nichushkin can just play the full year. I can see him being a beast yet again. And obviously just on the back end, you've got Cale Makar doing his thing. Devon Taves, unbelievable. I have a feeling Bowen Byram's going to have a monster year too. So they literally just have scoring up and down the lineup, which is why I put them first still, although I was very tempted to throw Dallas over them. I just have those two teams kind of in their own tier really. And then the fight for third and fourth is where it gets a little bit closer for me. But and then obviously the fun one that somehow now finally all want to tune in potentially to the Arizona Coyotes. We'll see what happens with Logan Cooley and a bunch more of those young guys. So that's actually, it's just weird that I'll be making sure that I will be watching the Arizona Coyotes. I don't think I've ever said that in my life. So very excited to see those games. The University of Arizona Coyotes. And then the Blackhawks. I mean, that's just the weirdest group of players I've ever seen in my life. I told you this, Hobby, a couple of days. I keep forgetting that Corey Perry's there now. It smells just
right.
There's so much too.
Let's get Bedard some help. I know what we should do. Let's go get him Corey Perry. It's so funny. So
Former 50 goal scorer, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
I really thought that you were going to be more upset about the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, I like what they did. The haul they got for Dubois, I think addressed a few different areas for them too. And it sounds, we'll see what happens obviously with Scheifele and Hellebuck, but even if they're on their way out, they're still two solid players that are going to be massive pieces, and they're still very good players. So I thought they improved overall. We'll see if Bonus just decides to randomly carve them at all times. Still the most insane post-season press conference, just calling his whole team gutless.
Fucking jellyfish.
That's the most psychotic thing I've ever seen. I hate them personally. My leaders, bad guys, hate them all. We'll see what happens there. But I was initially planning on putting them a lot lower than I have them. But then as I just started building out the lines in my head with the with what they got back for Dubois, I started liking them more and more. And liking them more than some of the other guys or the other teams that I put them ahead of. So
Dude,
that's where I
Bonus gave me vibes of that Swiss coach a few years in the World Juniors. They're like going up against Canada in like the round robin. They're like, so how do you feel about your chances against Canada? He's like, oh, they do everything better. They skate faster. They're stronger. They hit better. They score more. And then it was like silence. So it was like, is that what you're going to tell your team? I actually have the soundboard here. He's like,
exactly that. And
we tried to fight against. And he's like, what do you want me to say? They have like 7 first rounders. All the rest are in the second round. And they're only 4th rounder. Victor Mete had the most NHL games. We have 1 4th rounder. 1.
That was the best.
amazing.
He was like, I mean, we're just hoping to keep him under 10. You know, we're just going to try to keep this single digits.
Did you feel any pressure? He's like, pressure? I don't even know what that word means.
It's like that's like the Jim Mora playoffs rant where he's like, we couldn't run, we couldn't stop the run, we couldn't defend the pass, we couldn't get a first down, couldn't do diddly poo against anybody.
Damn.
We need more interviews. We need more just honest coaches before games like that.
Unhinged coach interviews are the best.
Yeah.
We're just gonna try to get out here healthy. You know, we're just gonna try to leave with no injuries. I don't know.
Yeah, who's going to be the post game guy this year with no more Sutter?
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
And no
Like,
Babcock.
Torts knows that there's like nothing going on there, right? Like he can't be that unhinged this year when they're basically projected to be horrible.
He's already at it. He already started, dude. He was like, first group, I thought it was great. Second group, they sucked. They were terrible. And they're like, what happened? He was like, they suck. Like,
They're
holy
terrible.
shit, dude. It's
That's it.
preseason. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ruby's got a little bit of that in him.
He intimidates the hell out of me. I don't know why. Every press conference I get, it's just his stare. Maybe I don't know, something about him.
I still think he's in my like top 3 for coaches that I would pick to win a fight.
Oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
no question.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a couple of those. Guy Boucher, when he was in the league, he probably could fuck some shit up too. He was a scary guy.
That scar just going like
Right?
Anyone with a scar just wins.
He's straight up like the Mufasa of the NHL coaches. Or not Mufasa, Scar. Of course, Mufasa's brother.
Yeah.
Jesus. By the way, shout out to Sean Butcher for the $2 donation here. The peanut butter man himself.
Mufasa.
He's the Mufasa.
Stop it. He's gonna clip that now.
This is incredible.
Ginger carrot, baby.
All right, we just got to move on here.
Yeah.
Here are everyone's individual picks. Again, brought to you by 7th Avenue Pizza. Follow them at 7th Avenue Pizza on X, Twitter, whatever Elon wants to call it next. They've got deals going every week, whether it's BOGO, $7 pizzas, whatever. Follow them, get the best. I'm actually eating the special right now. It is delicious.
Mateo owes me one because he lost a bet with me over the weekend. Super Lex, the best Muay Thai fighter ever. Mateo,
I'm so happy
told
for
you.
you.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
I'll say I'm with Z on the Jets, but that's only because it sounds like there's at least a 50-50 chance that they keep Hellebuck and maybe even Scheifele. If those two are gone, different story. It's over. But with the trade that was made for Dubois, like I do think they're a better team than they were last year, and they were feisty all the way through. Like, I don't know. That's a team that I think could easily have the biggest swing possibility here, being like as high as second or third and as low as last, just depending on how things shape out.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I don't think they're going to be at the bottom. For me, it's like the Jets, Blues, and Preds are kind of all interchangeable, especially like where I have them listed. It's like they could play musical chairs all season, and I wouldn't be surprised if, that any of them fell into that range when the season's done. So I basically have Colorado, Dallas, and the Wild at the top, and yeah, right under them is that tier of like the Preds, Blues, and the Jets. I think Arizona doesn't have a chance. I think Chicago, even with the savior Bedard, like it doesn't have enough troops around him. That team doesn't have enough depth to really just rely on the kids. So,
Jessi, why do you hate the Minnesota Wild?
I knew that was coming. You're lucky I put him at 4. I could have put him at 5. I really don't have that much confidence in the
You want
team.
me to
I
do it?
never
I'll
do, though.
fucking do it.
I put the bar at the bottom every single year for this team just so they can jump over it for me. So I don't know. The they'll be fine. It's not going to be a easy early playoff bound season. I think it'll come down to the wire like it used to, and they'll be waiting for 1 or 2 points or 1 or 2 teams to lose it. I don't know why. I still question why I'm always so high on Nashville in preseason. Every year, this is like the 3rd straight year. I'm like,
Me too.
oh, this is it. This is the Preds. They made their moves. They did things like Ryan O'Reilly doesn't really do that much for me, but for some reason, I think it's just because I love Barry Trotz. I'm excited what Bruno could do. I just think eventually they'll figure it out. Like, again, on paper, I feel like Nashville looks like they should be a pretty solid team. And I like it a little bit better than what the Wild have on paper in some areas. But yeah, that's why I just like to keep Wild fans guessing.
I'm sure
Saros
it's
is
getting
so
worse
sick,
now
though.
that you have Kirsten on with you too, who is the very uncloseted Nashville fan, and I'm still a little
Exactly.
conflicted on that.
Exactly.
Yeah, Urban's saying Nashville's his dark horse of the year as well.
Fair.
Stoned State Gaming. Oh yeah, Thomas Vokoun. What a G. Absolutely loved him. And Urban loved the Ryan O'Reilly signing for Nashville as well.
Yeah, like I like it, but it's not. He's old. He's got the championship pedigree, obviously, right? But he's also old for all intents and purposes. So that's
look
where
at
it
him.
could go.
He's too old.
He's just too old. Old balls, gross. Like
For me, the Predators, the reason that I'm lower on them is because I'm sorry, Wild fans, I do not believe in Andrew Brunette. I don't. Now, having Barry Trotz to work with, maybe that changes things, but what he did when he took over the Florida Panthers was pathetic, in my opinion. He basically copy and pasted what he got left behind from that scumbag Quenneville. And the second that he was met with adversity and couldn't win games 7-6, he had zero room to make adjustments, change nothing. Kind of a Dean Evison thing, except, with a very high-powered offense. So, I don't know.
Better team.
I hope he proves me wrong because I do want him to succeed. I also want him to stay off the golf course, but otherwise, I don't know. I just don't really believe in them.
He doesn't have like the same, like, obviously it worked when he was in Florida because the level of play, like who he had down there. And like, he obviously just doesn't have the same type of roster to do that. And I said this at the time too, like the last GM I would have expected to hire a coach who like approaches the game like Andrew Burnett would be like a Barry Trotz, who his like whole MO is like, it's like boring Islander hockey when he was there. Like that's his MO forever. So it's just like a very interesting, it feels like it's like going against each one, like how they're like just their overall mindset to the game. So it's just like, I like their defense. Obviously Saros is one of the best goaltenders on the planet. And like, he's got a couple of guys up front that can still bring it, obviously. So I think they're going to be in a whole lot of games. But again, like Burnett just doesn't have the level of players or like the type of players that he can play like the same way that they did in Florida. So it's going to be fascinating to see like just how they play with those players and with a coach with that mindset too. Like, I feel like he would have been, obviously, like Bednar wasn't going anywhere, but like a team like Colorado, he would have been, or New Jersey last year, like where he was being assistant coach too. Like he just has like the whole different roster of players. I'm very curious to see how he, like what they look like with him.
You know what?
Players.
I feel like Trotz though probably looks and he's like, who's out there that it's reasonable for people to believe that I would make them a head coach, but I can make them my bitch. They're my puppet.
He's the puppet. I was just going to say, Happy, that's kind of what I see too. Like he can very easily control Bruno, sort of like Guerin can with Dean, it seems a little bit here too. So I think that's an exact comparison.
Seth, why are the Coyotes going to make the playoffs?
I believe in what they are building, and I think with how much of a pain in the ass they were to play against last year, if they're even in the conversation for a wild card spot by the trade deadline, they have, 6 million draft picks to where they could go out and get somebody, which is why I think they'll be the ones to get Connor Hellebuck this year if the Jets fall out of it.
Oh, there you go.
And if they were to get a goalie like that to pair up with that young offense, I think they're going to be a problem. Maybe not a team that can make any sort of, deep run to the Stanley Cup final, but a team that could sneak into a playoff spot and kind of accelerate their window a little bit faster than you would assume that they would.
You're just a huge Matt Dumba fan.
Well, I was going to say,
that.
you are aware that they have the loser, Matt Dumba, according to all of Wild Twitter.
Matt Dumba, Jason Zucker,
Nick Bukestad, he's back.
Minnesota West.
Oh,
Yep.
Community
can we get
and
people to
technical
chant
college.
Wild rejects when they come in, kind of like the Gophers when St. Cloud comes into town?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or they could like misspell all of the players' names when they welcome them back and just really insult them like that. That's it's always nice. Or just skip over them like they did with Eric Stahl. Like just
that's
completely
funny.
forget.
Yeah.
It's
See,
sad.
I disagree with you though, Seth. I think their goaltending is actually like sneaky good. I think they just need to add like 2 or 3 real life defensemen with a pulse.
Yeah.
And then they'd actually be like, I would probably have them at 3 or 4.
Slightly above replacement level defensemen, which is they're not even at that level. Sorry. Matt
Their
Dumba.
forward group's going to be so fun though.
I know. That's why I think if they can lean on that offense a little bit, they should be a team that at least makes it difficult for their opponents. So why not? Why not buy the hype? If a Minnesota team is not going to be able to live up to the hype and the expectations, why not buy into somebody else?
Isha Z,
Thank
why
you,
are they
Vikings.
going to be bad?
Z.
I mean, I still just think the other team. It's not even like necessarily anything other than like I just think the other teams are still better. Like they have a bunch of young kids that should be fun. And I think, like you guys said, I like having guys like Sean Durzi. I thought was an awesome ad. Obviously, Jason Zucker's gonna be great. Matt Dumba. They did a good job of adding NHL experience fused in with like a bunch of high end young players, obviously, who are all like legit. I still just have more belief in the other teams, so that's the only reason. I did want to. I was flirting with putting them above Nashville, but I still just couldn't do it. Just like I just still believe in those established players in Nashville as well as a guy like UC Saros. If there was one change I would have made is maybe probably putting St. Louis one spot lower than I did, but I still just believe in the other teams. It's not necessarily anything like I think Arizona sucks. Like it's not anything like that. It's just I like the other teams a little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah.
I see how it
Actually, it's because I hate Matt Dumba. He's the reason they never won around. Fucking losers.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the
like
same page. Like it's kind of like, and I'm not saying that they have as good of a prospect pool as Ottawa, but it's kind of like Ottawa, where it's like they'll be fun to watch. They got some good pieces, but they're just not there yet as far as the teams around them to be able to compete in the division. And they made good moves. They're going to be they're going to be more entertaining to watch for the fan base in Arizona this year, which is awesome. Because last year, I mean, I talked to some Arizona fans. We have some Arizona fans, and like halfway through the season, they're like, "This is a joke." Like with everything that went down with on and off the ice, and I feel like bringing in some players here that can actually help the team compete and whether they finish at the bottom of the standings or not, like it's just going to be a better product, which is important for this fan base right now, whose like interest level is probably pretty low given everything that's gone down.
Well, I mean, Z, the
I
real
feel like their
answer
interest level is
is
probably super high. I feel like they're very interested at this point. Like in Arizona, I feel like that fan base is probably very excited.
just not
Well,
the
This
best.
is like
after
the most
these
fun
signings,
team they've had.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. After like that's why this season's gonna be better because of these moves they made. Whereas like last year was horrendous. Like I said, we touched base with a few Arizona fans there, and they're like, we became apathetic halfway through the year. Whereas they didn't just continue with the same narrative of we're gonna keep trying to get an arena and we'll be good then. It's like, no, we're actually gonna make some moves here and try to be entertaining. Quickly before we move on, Urban. Sammy Walker making the roster before Rossi. Thoughts, Jessi?
No. They can't afford to bring him up either. I think his contract is too much. So I don't know that him and Adam Beckman, it's going to be tough just because they don't have the money. Not to mention, it's kind of make or break time for Marco Rossi. I mean, the Wild don't want to kind of have egg on their face, and I think they're going to try and make it work. Now that it has to at this point. Right now, I hate the line that they have him on with Kara and Foligno because, again, they are burying him down, doing nothing. I get the idea of having Foligno hit people to create space for Marco to do his thing, but ultimately, to answer that question, no. Sammy Walker, unfortunately, I don't love it. But again, if Marco isn't performing, I would not be surprised if you see a move made by Bill Guerin by November, because I think why not? Why not get the value you can from him while he's still semi-relevant instead of just putting him back down in Iowa? Because that very well maybe he might be a great American Hockey League player, not NHL ready. But the kid put the work into. I mean, he looks bigger. He put the 15 pounds on. He did what they asked him. So I think Marco has to make this roster and has to make an impact immediately. Fortunately, Sammy.
Andrew, this is ludicrous, Andrew. This is ludicrous. Gun-toting granny. Stop looking at the cap with old balls.
I mean, the team's full of old balls, too, let's be honest.
I mean, we could theoretically trade Rossi to Toronto to get Reeves back.
Done.
Sure.
Let's do it. We need a captain according to Urban. I think this checks his box.
Rossi for Nyes would be fun.
Stop looking.
Yeah, let's do that.
Even though I think Rossi's going to be good this year, but
I'm not convinced. I haven't been convinced the past couple of years. I hate to say that, and I would not call him a bust. I'm not ready to say that, but I don't know. He's just not. He doesn't do it for me. But I haven't gotten the good look at him either because Dean hasn't put him with anybody that warrants him to do anything to show what he can do at the NHL level.
That's the thing. It's not like it's not his fault.
Yeah,
he's doing everything. He's been doing everything he was told to do. So,
are there things that he can work on at the NHL level? Certainly, but is he being put in a position to
develop
and succeed? Not really.
Yeah. Yep, which is why this year is very important. Anything else that we want to cover for the Central, or should we move on?
I just love that we use the Thrashers logo instead of the whatever the hell the
year.
Winnipeg Jets are doing for their third jerseys this year.
That is insane. They designed that on Canva and moved on. Like they were just.
Well, they did it because someone has to be worse than the Wild's thirds. So.
Oh
wow.
Brutal.
Shots fired.
I did like how the Atlanta Thrashers account that still exists on X responded to that reveal and was like, this was not the third jersey reveal we were hoping for.
That account's
Those
good, man.
Thrashers
Every now and then,
so
every now and then they come out with some bangers.
Yeah, they're still elite even though their team no longer exists. We love them.
Poor Atlanta. They lost two teams. The Flames and the Thrashers.
And the Falcons have never
the NHL's like, we're going to try that shit again.
Yeah, we're going
to. They're like, it's going to fucking work. Like, they are making Atlanta hockey a thing. They really, like, it's just,
I love
the level of dedication is just unbelievable. They're like, nah, I know it didn't work the first two fucking times, but you know what?
You know,
try it again. I mean,
third time's the charm.
There you go,
because they
Jessi.
didn't have the TNT studio covering hockey back then.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
That's like the leading argument. Like, well, that's where like they're headquartered. So yeah, why not have a team?
I mean, it should fucking work. Like soccer down there, unbelievable. Like
they
it
never had a good
immediately.
team. If they got an expansion or a relocation that was like an okay team, it's probably different.
I mean, they had like Kovalchuk put up 50 as a rookie. Like he immediately
and they still didn't make the playoffs.
They made the playoffs in 07 and got slaughtered in 4 games by the Rangers. Like
back when the top
they should retire
team from the division got in, and the division was just absolute trash. So they were like the 3rd seed when they probably shouldn't have even made the playoffs.
Unbelievable. But they're going back. It's gonna work this time.
Do it again. Run it back.
I promise you, this time we're going to
They would have a chance, honestly, if it was expansion. Like, they'd have more of a chance of it if it is just with how favorable some of the rules are now for expansion teams. Like, I feel like that would give them the chance to be good early versus, like, just a relocation. Like, if Arizona... But then again, I mean, also at the same time, pretty nice. Like, if Arizona was to move, I don't think it's any secret that would be the one team that looks like a possible relocation eventually. But... like also pretty nice group of young players to inherit, I guess. But yeah,
I mean,
that was like the only thing that's in my head.
Team to grow the game before.
Yeah, fuckers.
Oh, all right. Well, we can move on then. Next up here, we've got the Metropolitan division, which I think if memory serves me right, this was the biggest like clusterfuck of voting that we've had yet.
In my own
There's
brain,
so many
too.
good teams.
It's
Yeah.
just all over the place.
Yeah.
Um,
This one's hard to read at face value, much like or it compared to the Pacific Division, where we all kind of looked at it the same way, we all kind of ranked it the same way, whereas this one I think this one might be all over the place. So
I don't even remember how I ranked it. So
the
See, so
minimum
you're really interesting.
separation for each team was 3 spots, and there's plenty that were a lot higher. So, like the best and the worst teams still fluctuated quite a bit. So, presented by our good friends Northland Vodka, which I'm actually drinking right now with Fresca because I'm a basic bitch. Isho, why don't you say some nice things about Northland?
Dude, Northland Vodka, unbelievable. Mark Parrish, friend of the show, great company, and the vodka, like, it's amazing. It's his. He said it. It's the best vodka recipe ever. So that's why he went into the business producing it, and it is like, I'm one of those psychos who like will drink it on the rocks or straight because I really think it's that good. And I'm not a big mixed drink guy anyways, which is why I've always kind of avoided vodka because it's one of the best mixers, especially in a Fresca. I mean, I will say that is a good one, but no, I love
drink it straight.
I love Northland Vodka. The recipe is amazing. It's amazing whether you want to drink it straight or a mixer. It's affordable, and proceeds with every purchase go back into the community for local hockey. A percentage of them anyway. So great company, local company, and unbelievable vodka.
There we go. So for the Metro, we've got first place Carolina Hurricanes, followed by New Jersey Devils, New York Rangers, Pittsburgh Penguins, New York Islanders, the pesky Isles for Mark Parrish, the Washington Capitals, Columbus Blue Jackets, and finally the wonderful Philadelphia Flyers, who aren't scumbags at all.
Oh God, I just remembered where I put Philly, and I'm super embarrassed now.
I hope they're your number one, just to torment you.
Not quite number 1, but number 2.
Shut up. What's wrong with you?
I'm excited to hear this explanation. Oh my goodness.
Anyone have initial gripes here with what they're seeing? Because this is all over the map. Again, like no one had similar picks.
No.
I don't like the Islanders so high.
Well, you're gonna
I
hate
think-
where I had them then.
I think the Caps and Columbus are a better team than them. But that's it. That's pretty much it. Knocked the Islanders down right above the Philly, and Columbus, Capitals, Penguins. Take your pick. That's where I'm at.
Seth's just like gritting his teeth. What do you have?
Yeah, Seth. What the heck? What is that?
No,
face
I
for?
didn't put
You gotta
Philly 2. No, I was watching. They were showing the Vikings highlights at halftime of whatever games on TV. Low lights.
Low lights, yes.
That was nice.
Urban saying that 1 for him is Devils, 2 Canes, 3 Rangers, 4 Islanders, 5 Pens, 6 Caps, 7 CBJ, and 8 Flyers.
Hey, look at that. All right. Well,
Again, thanks for the score updates, RJ. Appreciate it. RJ's in the chat giving us score updates for the NHL preseason, and he's reminding the chat to like and subscribe. So thank you so much, RJ. Everyone who's watching right now, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. We post podcast clips and host various live streams. SpokedZ and Hoppy, they do Judd'z Budz every Wednesday now, so tune in for that.
Jujar Kara. How about that?
Attaboy. Good old Vancouver boy. Let's go.
all right. Everyone prepare to attack each other ruthlessly because there's like no consensus here across us except for Philly being kind of bad.
Oh, wow.
I put Rangers number 1. Wow. Good for me.
How hungover were you?
I was a little bit of
every
a
single division room. Jesse's like, Jesus.
I know. It was a long day yesterday.
New York Minute at 1-2. Holy
We
shit.
might be
I
able to
know,
get
right?
a Tito sponsorship, dude. Without
Yeah.
Jesse, just been like, oh God, every time.
Next time,
Otherwise,
make it Northland and you won't be hungover.
There
That's
you go.
exactly it. That was my mistake. Northland all the way. Should have known.
I mean, I don't even know where to point for anyone to start here besides, I guess, Seth. Why would you put the Flyers at 6? Are the Capitals and the Blue Jackets just going to have everyone get hurt?
I mean, I guess I just figured that the Blue Jackets are going to be just a mess with the Babcock thing. And Washington just continues to kind of trend in the wrong direction with age and just generally not bad enough to be bad, not good enough to be good. And so at some point you figure they're just going to kind of bottom out. And I guess I thought that was going to be this year.
Fair enough.
Pittsburgh at 2 should be a war crime.
Yeah,
says
like
Sean.
what's that all about?
Why are we surprised by that though?
You should absolutely be surprised. I'm usually the lowest on them. I am so excited going into this year, and the difference is my good buddy Kyle Dubas, and he is changing shit for the better. They have an absolute locked and set top 6 and top 4 for their forward group and their blue line. Their top 4 is going to be just absolutely electric with, I can't even decide yet. I think we're going to end up sticking Pettersson with Carlson, and I think that's going to work out great. But I just think that he's done a good job of bringing in a lot of guys to fight for the bottom 6 and for that third pairing. A lot of guys that could fit in a lot of different ways, and it's going to be an absolute battle, which has not been the case in the Ron Hextall regime because he's an absolute dipshit. The real question mark is health, as it always is for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if they are healthy, I think that they could finish 1 or 2. If Tristan Jerry gets hurt, if Crosby or Malkin miss a lot of time, if Erik Karlsson goes down, that's going to change a lot. But if we get decent level of health across the season, I don't see any reason that they can't do better. And it's not a dig either at New Jersey. I just think that they just had like a historic season, and I don't see them coming back and repeating that. I think get into the playoffs, and they're a team that scares me a lot.
Yeah.
But regular season, I think they're going to regress a little bit back to the mean, but they'll still be a playoff team, no question.
Historic's a stretch. When Taylor Hall joined them, that was historic. This is like a team actually building something.
They barely made the playoffs, and he won the Hart Trophy. That's not historic.
Historic.
I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. I know Jessi and Dev, who's not here, are the lowest on the Penguins. Tell me why I'm an idiot.
Old balls. They're all old. Like,
oh,
I'm over it.
Quit looking at the cap with old balls.
Just old balls.
I mean, that's true. Sidney Crosby is like 7,000 plus 7,000 for the Hart Trophy because he's
plus 7,500. Hammered that. Thank you.
And Washington, yeah, like I think the Washington and Pittsburgh kind of eras are run down, run out, and they're just not. The younger guys are going to make it a show. The younger guys being with the New Jersey Devils, which I, in retrospect, wish were above the Islanders. I'm gonna swap that mentally. That's what I really
Shout
want to do.
Tito's. Shout out Tito's.
Yeah.
If you want the best hangover you've ever had, Tito's vodka.
If you want to make terrible selections for your preseason show,
horrible life choices start with Tito's vodka.
Tito's vodka.
And
Fallon, is he really plus 7,500 hammered?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
See, he's awful now, right? He's old. He's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I will say, to my credit for the Islanders, I have just always had a long-standing crush. They're kind of like my Eastern Conference affair team. It's probably the Minnesota connection they've got out there, and I like their goaltending too. So I mean, they're not going to be
balls
terrible.
there. Definitely zero old balls.
A lot of old balls there, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, Lamorello's got some old balls.
He's got some old balls.
Oh man, we hadn't got specific with it yet, and now we just did. I didn't like that at all. Just didn't need to.
Now there's a visual.
Andrew's leaving. He's like, yeah, fuck
You just
this.
made it real. You made it real. Now it's real.
Oh man.
Now
Well, Seth and I have the Devils up there. Seth,
what by which team has the oldest balls now?
Yeah.
Are we including front office?
We don't have to. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, he's like, please move on. Seth, why do you have the Devils so high?
I don't know. I feel like that's a mix that kind of found themselves last year, And I just think that they'll be able to build off of it this year. And honestly, you put New Jersey 1, Carolina 2, and the difference is maybe going to be, I don't think it's going to be more than a few points. So I feel like those two teams are pretty even at the top, and it just is a coin flip as to if you think Carolina is the one or New Jersey. And I went with New Jersey.
Yeah, I think the addition of Luke Hughes is going to be huge. And I think it's we've seen what a Hughes can do upon entering an NHL franchise. Now they're going to have 2. So.
How is he second in odds for the Calder? That doesn't make any sense to me.
This year's Calder class is going to be fun.
It is going to be very fun.
So freaking excited.
Yeah, we had a comment here where it was a Fantilli called her 10-1 book it.
Ooh.
I mean, now that Babcock's gone, yes.
Yes.
Yikes.
Jack, I'm the only one that likes Columbus, so.
Balls.
I'm glad I've started a new trend for you guys on here.
Yeah, just
Love
you're
you.
gonna have
This
to
feels
come
like
on once a
this
month.
feels
and we're
like
gonna
our
have
2
the old
a.m.
ball
spaces.
segments.
It does.
This
Yeah.
feels like our 2 a.m. drunk Twitter spaces. Like this is what this has turned into. We just can't
This is
stop
just
talking about old balls.
Old balls,
Evolved
yeah.
into madness.
Classic.
I'm just taking a look here. What else is a little controversial? I mean, Hoppy has Columbus pretty high.
I just said that.
Well, you gotta talk about the right. Unless I was just not paying attention, because you mentioned to me last week that you were gonna shock people with your Rangers placement. Did I? You may have just said it, and I was not paying attention. But I'd love to now hear the explanation to have them at 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I can use the cop out like you guys used before. I just think the other teams are going to be better, not necessarily
you
the
can't do that,
Rangers
sorry.
are bad, but I also think that they're just absolutely fraudulent. They have a great blue line, good goaltender. They are old balls. They're trending that direction now. The coaches and the organization hate the young balls, apparently, because they absolutely drag these players. And their development has been horrible. I don't know the last team that had 2 top 2 picks back to back that didn't really do anything. But yeah, I just do not believe in them. I think that they will be like a team that could absolutely flirt with the playoffs. Again, it's more so I just think that all of the other teams in that mix, basically, I don't believe in the Islanders and the Flyers. I think the rest of these teams are a total crapshoot. Besides, I think Carolina's head over heels better than the rest.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Sound reasoning.
Yeah, we're all like nodding. Yeah.
And if Babcock
I
was
concur.
still there, I would not have the Blue Jackets where I do. But the fact that he's gone and Pascal Vincent has been established before they got into training camp, truly, I think that that's a team that could be a lot of fun. People were high on them last year after adding Gaudreau. They got healthier. They've got a better blue line. I think that they are going to be very interesting to watch. And Patrick Laine, for the first time ever, is excited. So that's something.
So excited he might play center.
That's interesting.
Jessi.
How many? We've hosted so many of these big group ones, but I think we actually have broken StreamYard.
It's always my internet that doesn't work. So the fact that now I've jinxed it, obviously, but like, it's very interesting being on this side of things where no one else's shit works except for me and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's
so this
it's
is
funny
just really
'cause-
nice. I enjoy this.
This is delightful.
Just a little wild. What's up, Marlo? Good to see you, buddy.
What up, Internet Dad?
Okay, well, we'll wait for Hoppy to reconnect here. Oh, StreamYard's been having issues for our show too. Okay, so yeah, their servers all out of whack then.
Delightful. Can't wait to record tonight.
Well, either way, while we wait for Hobby to come back, I don't know if I would go as I don't know about like calling the Rangers fraudulent. Like the fact they get Blake Wheeler in 800K, the fact that they bring in a guy like Nick Bonino, who like you don't really need him to chip in a ton, but he can be a good, responsible player at both ends of the ice and just again a good leadership locker room guy that can still play. Obviously, if Laviolette just lets the kids play like Kako and Lafreniere, I think they could have big monster years too. Like I love Filipino. Like I love a lot of what they have there. I think they've got a pretty good balance throughout the lineup too. And I have a feeling like another one of the players this year that I think might have like a monster year is a kid like Keandre Miller, despite the fact that, obviously ice time gets limited when you have Adam Fox on your team ahead of you. But like, I think Miller might have a ridiculous season. So unless Shesterkin gets hurt, that's gonna be a major problem because, as I was saying a couple minutes ago, this first look at Jonathan Quick in a Rangers jersey is not going great right now live. But if he stays healthy and Quick can like hold his head above water, I think they're gonna be challenging Carolina.
I like it.
Poppy, welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
I forgot they got Connor Mackey too on the back end. A decent third pair guy too.
Not bad. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it was scrambled there, but I feel like we all kind of gave pretty good reasoning for why we put them where they were, except for Jessi and it was a good reasoning. Tito's
Good
but,
reason, yeah.
yeah, good reason.
No, I said the Rangers were. Yeah, I agree with my Rangers take. I don't know the Islanders.
She blames Tito's and then she circles back. Okay.
Yeah. Look, there's truth when you drink, right? So that was maybe just my truth serum. I think is just. I love my New York teams, I guess.
See, I don't agree with this take. I don't think the Stars live and die by their goalies. I think the Rangers maybe do, but I think the Stars are way more of a deeper team.
It's different when you have like goalies that either you're worried about both of them or you have one that's like demonstrably better than the other and the other is like a problem if you have to rely on them a lot.
Yeah.
It's different if like you're one of those teams that also doesn't have like a solid defense in front of you or a team that is capable of scoring 5-6 goals every single game. That I don't think they live and die. Like I think they can get through. And again, Shesterkin's a top 5 goalie at least. So I don't think they live and die by Shesterkin. He might not even have to like even get tested all that often with how good the team is in front of them. Like they're gonna have the puck the whole fucking game. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Their blue line is like ridiculously good. And how funny is it that the New York Rangers Twitter or X account posted the other day, who wants some headshots?
Like what? Pardon?
They just really rally behind their captain. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh man, good old Rangers.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's steam forward here. Last division to cover. This one was a little chaotic as well, but probably not as much as the Metro. We've got the Better Edge Atlantic Division. BetterEdge.com/SotaPod. Free $20 at sign up. No deposit required. Free legal, well, not free, I guess, but legal betting in Minnesota, which is unheard of unless you guys know something I don't. First place by consensus, Toronto Maple Leafs. Isha is thrilled.
Gross.
Number 2, the Buffalo Sabres.
Wow.
Yeah.
I definitely did not go them at 2.
No, we'll see where this
That
goes.
was a mistake, Seth. That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
Boy, oh boy,
This is the
I
answer
was-
key, Seth. You're wrong.
Jeez,
Yep.
really did not have any faith in Jordan Greenway this year.
Tied at 3, Boston Bruins and Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 5, Florida Panthers. Number 6, Ottawa Senators. 7, Detroit Red Wings. 8, Montreal Canadiens. So clearly Seth has issue with the Buffalo Sabres at 2. Anyone else have any concerns what we got here?
Tampa at 3. I don't know about that one. I put them lower, probably.
Lower?
Yeah. You want to go?
It's going to be fun.
I mean, I could see
I'm in.
Toronto or Boston being lower than Tampa.
No, Tampa, I think I'd put them at 5 or 6.
Well, how did they get that much worse this year compared to Boston?
I'm just done with them.
You're just done with that?
Just done with them.
By any chance, the
Simple.
old balls?
There's some old balls on that team too. Yeah,
Drunk words or sober thoughts? Jessica?
they are. I mean, they are.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Well, let's just get right into it then. Here we have the Atlantic Division, as chosen by the panel of esteemed people.
Fuck
Definitely not
Montreal, dude. I love this. Fuck the Canadians.
Oh my god.
Oh, except sorry, Jessi.
Hey, I'm questioning myself with that one, but that's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
I personally love Jessi's rankings. I heard a big fan of how she did this.
It's just mass chaos, just absolute chaos on that board. Like I was thinking, I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't put Boston 1. Nope, I did. So that's good.
No. You hope you did. You hope
yeah.
you did.
You guys put
V didn't
Tampa
even
at
put the
2.
number 1.
Everyone
Yeah, why
except
not?
for you and Dev, who admittedly gave us his rankings in between diaper changes.
Oh
So
my god.
he's
So we
basically
were
got the
both in
same
the shit.
excuse as you.
Yeah.
Toxic
Yeah.
fumes.
Mateo saying Bruins are still top 2 teams. So there you go. Mateo's in your corner as well.
I mean, they're obviously not going to repeat what they accomplished during the regular season last year, but I don't know. It'll be fine.
Why is that
Well,
obvious?
yeah, I mean, I also don't think like any team would. Like it's
No.
It's like people are like, well, can they do what they did last year? It's like, well, the answer is pretty universally like no,
Right.
because it's never been done before. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm again big fan of where you have the Bruins. I would love that for me.
Yeah.
So I think everyone should else.
I did it for you, actually. I was like, you know what? Spoke's here. I'm going to throw him a bone.
thank you very
Go
much.
with the bees. You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Yeah,
Love
see, you
Charlie
hate
Coyle.
them. You put them at
Love that.
3. Why are
Yeah,
they so
I mean,
high?
I still think like I actually still like their roster a lot. Again, it's just a fact. I've never really like been alive and able to understand what's going on since Patrice Bergeron. Like I've never had a Bruins list or a Patrice Bergeron list Bruins like in terms of just like how long I've been watching them like, with my memory. So I don't even know what that looks like, and it makes me very nervous, obviously, with the center position. Like when you're staring at like Charlie Coyle as your number 1 center. But the thing with them is their MO every single year, as long as they've been a franchise, is they have a top 5 defense every single year. And they've got 2 very good goalies. So they're in every game, like every season, even those 2 years that they didn't make the playoffs, they were still, I think they missed by like 2 and 4 points because their defense was so strong. Like McAvoy is legitimately unbelievable. Hampus Lindholm had a monster year. Like even the addition of Shattenkirk gives them like a better power play option too.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they've got solid goaltending and a defense that rarely gives up more than 2-3 goals in a game, the fact that they have that, and then they have a kid like David Pastrnak, I think James Van Riemsdyk will help and chip in, like, again, some power play scoring too. Brad Marchand's still there. Like,
I'm
they've
worried
got
about the leadership.
in them. I love that. People are like,
love that move. It's so good.
It's so great.
That's-
So great.
I hope he logs back onto Twitter, creates a new Twitter account, because I need to just start randomly getting bored and carving people. It's so fun. Like,
I've got plenty of comments.
I
That's
need to hear
if
more
you-
about his love affair with Mitch Marner. That's when you guys
It's
highlighted
so
that in the last
funny.
episode. That was amazing.
every single time the Bruins are going to Toronto, Brad Marchand is like salivating for media day because he just has every single time. Like, it's unbelievable. The talk before every Bruins Leafs game in Toronto was like, what do you think Brad Marchand meant when he said that Mitch Marner was his favorite player in the NHL? Like, what do you think? Why do you think Brad Marchand came out to the media and said that he thinks Mitch Marner should make $15 million a year? Why do you think, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And
Why does
Marchand's
Mitch
just
tell
literally
him about
laughing.
his dog on the ice?
That's the best. He's like, yeah, no one really likes to get into it. Mitch just runs around talking about his dog and video games. You know, those terrible skates he's got. I don't know. He's my favorite player in the NHL, though. And the media just shits themselves. It's unbelievable every time.
Beautiful.
He's the best. I love
They
that
can't
guy.
help themselves.
Again, unfortunately, I do think Toronto is a cut above the entire division. But
In the
they do
postseason
the same
as
thing
well,
they
or
do every
just in the
year, though.
regular season.
I have no idea, honestly. Like, yeah, I need to see them actually play with every year. They bring in so many new players, and they did it at the deadline too, where they just bring in like new guys at every major position, and it feels like it just never gels right. So I don't know how that'll go. I think a guy like Tyler Bertuzzi is going to thrive in a big market. Like he came to Boston and immediately was just loving life.
For Wild fans, can you talk about the addition to their second pairing on the blue line?
Oh my God, the best defenseman in the league, dude. He's the best. No one's better.
Clearly better than Galen Addison.
I love that they everyone's for even if you don't watch a Leafs game, everyone's always like, well, they just need to improve that defense. It's not necessarily all that true, to be honest with you, in the first place, because they still don't give up a ton anyways. But the fact, in my head, it's very funny if that is true. Their one addition was John Klingberg to really just shore up that back end.
4.5.
Really just start deleting these scoring chances against. I don't know what we'll do. Let's bring in Klingberg. It'll be fine.
I'll never forget Russo's blurb. I forget what show he was on talking about Klingberg, and he's like, it was far and away some of the worst defenseman play I've ever seen covering this team. Like, okay.
And telling you,
Addison.
It's like if you want to torture yourself but have a sense of humor, I just urge people to just watch every John Klingberg shift, because he literally forgets where he is on the ice and just starts floating and watching the puck. He's like, oh shit, all right. And then he's in the neutral zone as the puck's going in. He's like, how did I get over here? I don't even fucking know. It's beautiful. It's my favorite shit in the world.
He's like when you're playing NHL and your controller disconnects and the player just glides
every time. That's how I described it. He disconnected his fucking remote. Yeah, it's unbelievable. He just just slowly goes off screen. It's like he just disappears.
That's when you accidentally select the defenseman when you think you're selecting the winger, and then you start going the wrong direction.
Yes, but he'll bring them the cup now because he's on there to shore up that back end that apparently needs
naturally.
But I'm telling you though, every year they bring in a ton of new players, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just Toronto in general just has a market, but it seems like it just never really works. But that being said, I think the guys they bring are a little bit different than usual. So I still think I think they might easily win this division.
Isha's just thrilled that we've spent this much time talking about the Leafs.
Because fucking foul one's in the chat right here, trolling me too. God damn it.
All right, Isha, you tell us why Dev and Jessi are wrong and the Tampa Bay Lightning are a good team.
Oh, I mean, other than very, very minor tweaks that I can't even think of off the top of my head. They haven't made any change where they actually suffered some injuries last year. Probably a little bit of just playoff fatigue, and I think they'll get right back to it this year. I mean, the roster is still incredible. They still have the same core. The chemistry isn't hampered at all. With Hedman healthy, I think that's going to be massive, obviously, for the back end. And Stamkos in a contract year, so he's going to put up 60.
An angry contract year, apparently. Not good. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That vocal immediately before the season even started.
I love it.
70 points, sorry. Or 70 goals. 70 goals.
All right, boys. I'm going to sneak away to take my kid to hockey, but I'm going to defend my Montreal pick because I don't know what I did there. I know I can't name one fucking player besides Cole Caulfield on the Canadiens, so I have no
Martin St. Louis is a really good player still, right?
Just, I'm like, what the hell is... So, go Canadiens. Love it. Love you guys.
Really wish we would have talked.
That's a solid defense. Solid defense of that pick. I like that you said you were going to defend it, and you're like, I don't fucking know anyone on the team.
Know anyone on the team. I was like, I can't defend that.
They don't have John Klingberg.
They don't have John Klingberg. That's true.
Right?
That's
a good spot.
Yep. And Ottawa's the worst of those Canadian teams, so that's just standard. We'll see. All right, boys. Have fun. Always good chat with you.
Jessi.
Appreciate you, Jessi.
Bye.
No Tito's tonight.
Guys, Jessi Pierce, go check out her podcast, Bar Down Beauties. Go check out her work with NHL.com, and she writes for various outlets as well, covering the Minnesota Wild. Super active on social media, all social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Bar Down Beauties are also on YouTube. We will link everyone's stuff, Seth's as well, and even Dev in the description of this live stream and the clips moving forward. She is awesome. Yes, indeed.
A+.
We got a few comments in the live chat. Should we fire through them here, boys? Derek's here. No. Will Goligoski play in 25% of the Wild games this season?
I mean, it's got to be pretty much 50-50 between him and Merrill now.
You'd hope, but...
I don't hope that at all.
Well, you would hope that it doesn't cut into Addison's time, but when have we been right about that?
Yeah, that's true.
Who plays more games, Goose or Addison?
If it's not Addison, I will.
We riot. We riot.
I will delete Twitter if X. If Addison plays fewer games and he's healthy, I will delete my Twitter account. Oh, fuck X.
Fallon saying, I just had to pay my season tickets. He's in Toronto. 2 weeks ago, I'm eating ramen for the year.
You bought season tickets?
He's a regular season ticket holder.
Can I fly in your jet?
Again, telling a Goose is old.
What?
Jessi brought me here. That's awesome, Urban. Big shout out to Jessi. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we want to debate on this, or should I remove this from the screen?
Well, either way, I am very fascinated by like where the Panthers will finish. Like they could either like be great and finish top 3, top 2, or they could literally just like completely fall off. That's the one team that I was like, I actually have no clue,
dude,
where this team's gonna end up, especially how injured they are too to start the year.
That really hurt the Bruins last year.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think that I'm very scared that people think Bobrovsky is like a top goalie again now, when like that was very much lightning in a bottle, in my opinion. But
didn't even start the playoffs, and then they randomly came in for however many game stint and lit it up.
And we do need to have Isha discuss number 1 Buffalo Sabres.
Oh, I just think their roster is incredible. They got a lot of good young guys who seem super comfortable in the National Hockey League, and every team like this pops eventually, and it's going to be this year for them, and they're gonna show that they can hang with the likes of the Lightning and Leafs, and in my prediction, surpass them in the top of the division. Dude, like you look at their forward depth, it's insane. It's unbelievable.
They got a perennial 3-goal scorer in Jordan Greenway.
Dude, but the fact that like they're gonna put Jordan Greenway 3rd, maybe in 4th line, dude, that's awesome. That's where he needs to be. Skinner doesn't have to get all like the big matchups anymore. You got the likes of these young studs like Cousins and Thompson. And again, Middlestat, he never became what people project him to be, but he's still not bad. And you put him as a depth player again, like you have some depth scoring there. Again, I have their forward group up in cap friendly here, and it's unbelievable. And then you look at the defense side of things. I mean, Rasmus Dahlin is, in my opinion, one of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League. He's going to daddy every single opponent he faces. He's going to make everybody look silly. He already is fully healthy this season. Cannot wait. And they don't have names as big as him on the defense other than him, but they have, again, really good depth and guys who don't make too many big defensive mistakes. And again, they have some of them are pretty young. It's not like a very old defense core either. And they have goaltending that people say might be some of the best young goaltending in the league. So again, they're young, which is kind of a dice roll, but every young team with that the managers have built around with some veteran players who continue to not make mistakes, put up points. I mean, if you look at this team on paper, they have every opportunity to succeed, and I just think this is the year that they pop.
I just love hearing about Rasmus Dahlin going back to the bench and getting chirped by the opposing team, going out the very next shift and just burying the first person that comes across him. Like, he is unhinged in the best way.
Babyface savage, dude.
Fun to watch.
babyface savage. Like he
Wild
is so
killer.
he's so good. He's so good.
Didn't he single-handedly win one of those? That's one of those games against the Wild. He basically single-handedly won.
Yeah, incredible. So yeah, there's my explanation. And the only other thing, I mean, on my rankings here, it's like Florida, Detroit, Boston.
You
I think
love Detroit.
Yeah, I do. Probably a little too high on them, but again, good young core. Do I really think they're going to make the playoffs this year? No, but them and Florida could be interchangeable.
Dude, Sherratt Petrie as a second pairing is something.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I got, boys.
What a defense. What a defense of the pick.
I don't think Ole Mata's in their projected starting six, though, so that's at least progress.
That's good.
They made a couple. Again, I've said this before.
They're center
I don't
signings.
care. People can, like, if it ends up somehow working out, people can chirp me all they want. I don't believe in the Yzer plan anymore. Like, it's crazy. Like, some of these fucking sites, like JT Comfort, $5.1 million for 6 years. They gave fucking Andrew Cobb the 5-year deal at 5.6. There are a couple that I really do like bringing in Klim Kostin, Daniel Sprong.
Kostin and Sprong I liked.
Sprong I like a lot.
DeBrincat.
The DeBrincat. I actually don't hate the Gostisbehere move at all because he signed for 1 year and he's been great in Arizona too.
Yeah.
But some of the move, I don't understand it. Like, he's giving big money and term, and I love both players, but the big ones were Comfort and Cobb, and then what's his face on the back end there, Sherratt.
Sherratt was the weird one.
Sherratt, literally, they started the year last year paired up. They had him with Sider, and Sider did essentially nothing until they moved to have him play with Wallman, and then he started playing phenomenal again. So now you've got Sherratt for this year, and then 2 more at 4.75, and no one's going to take that from you. No one's taking that contract out.
I mean, mostly because Arizona's actually trying to win hockey now. So
he also has a modified no trade, which is insane.
It's still so fun to go and look at the cap friendly for Arizona and see 3 guys that are on the LTIR and just be like, God damn it. It'll never go away. I don't know. I think Yzerman is another version of Jim Rutherford where when it comes to signing free agents, absolute dipshit. But for Rutherford, it's trades. Guy was a monster. Yzerman still crushes the draft for the most part. But as soon as they go into free agency, it's just an absolute disaster.
It's almost as if you'd like somebody to just take his money away and say, no, don't spend this.
We got Big Daddy Dev.
What's up, Dev?
Yo. What up?
Hi,
We got
Dad.
Connor here, too. He's here.
Hey,
Making his podcast debut.
Sota Pod debut.
Start
Is
him
his
out.
middle name Bedard or McDavid?
No comment.
Thank God he looks more like his mother.
The ironic part is he looks exactly like I did when I was a baby.
I can't even see him. I just wanted to call you ugly.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I love you, though.
I love you too, buddy. You're really handsome. It very much bothers me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, if you want to run that again, just keep playing that. That's the
Cut that
teaser for
promo
this
one more
episode.
time.
That's the promo for this episode. Tarps off. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. Why not?
Oh.
I'll do a half. We'll do a half tarps off because my HOA is out and about right now. They're literally I can see them down the street.
You got in
Good
trouble
Lord.
because they saw you throw tarps off in your boneyard.
We don't know this. We don't know for sure, but I don't want to tempt fate.
Imagine having to explain to people that you got in trouble with the HOA because they saw you take your shirt off. And they're like, Jesus Christ, we got to do something about this. We can't have that happen ever
This
again.
man is an
They're
absolute
families.
menace.
His son was right there.
You have a man derobing in his backyard in front of a young child.
Hey, Jerry.
Well, now that Dev's here, we should have him explain every single one of his picks. Because
Oh, yeah, this will be good.
So you can start with the Atlantic.
If
Talk
it
us
makes
through
you feel better, Dev, Jessi made all of hers hungover on Tito because Tito is the inferior vodka.
That's true. Yeah, shit compared to Northland.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I'm looking at Jessi's picks. Did she forget that half of the Bruins retired?
Yes.
Shut
Okay,
up,
cool.
dude. Fuck you. I think it's perfect.
I mean, like, you know, I say that, but I also like there's a world where they finish first. They're really good. You know, what's the line? The Bruins always find a way. Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to do? But you want me to just defend saying the Leafs going first?
No, because I think everyone's just talk about your picks. What were the ones that like really gave you pause, if any? What were the big decisions you made?
So with the Atlantic Division, I truly believe this. I was telling Hoppy, I can make a case for pretty much any one of those teams making the playoffs. You know, the one I'm probably going to get the most grief for is Montreal, because I feel like everybody kind of sees them as like 2 or 3 years away. But there's a world where they step up. I'm a firm believer. I am absolutely picking up what Marty St. Louis is putting down. So I'm a big fan of that. You know, if we're kind of working our way up, the Wings, I have the Wings last, but like with like the caveat of like last in the Atlantic is probably going to be like 82 points. You know, I don't think there's like any bad teams in this division. I really like what the Florida Panthers are doing. I'm a little bit biased, but to me, excuse me, I'm a little bit biased because I've got some friends down there, but to me, the Panthers, I think, are in a position where they can really of, you know, what they did last year. And, you know, I'll eat my crow. I was not as high on the Paul Maurice hire. And I was pretty openly, I thought it was not a great hire. And, you know, for the first 7 or 8 weeks of the season last year, I appeared to be vindicated. And then in like, you know, end of January, mid-February, they kind of figured it out. And, you know, they basically played playoff hockey from like mid-February to the, you know, all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Because they were so far behind the 8 ball. So I think that, you know, they will probably figure out a way to not spot everybody, you know, 8 to 12 points. So I like their chances to, you know, finish high in that division. Same with the Sabres. Obviously they didn't make the playoffs, but I'm doing this to myself. I do it every year. I get really high on the Sabres in the offseason. I like what they've done, everything, all their different moves. And then they start hot. They win like, you know, they go like 7-2-2 in their first 11. And, you know, we're all like, oh yeah, the Sabres, they're back. And then they absolutely shit the bed come Christmas time. And for whatever reason, I don't think that's going to happen this year. And I've said that for now 4 years in a row. So this is the year. This is the year that I'm right.
Charm.
Yeah. Nobody. How many years has it been since the Sabres have made it to the playoffs? Like 9, 11, something like that. Never forget. Marlo says he refuses to believe in Buffalo, and I don't fucking blame him. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Somebody has to.
Your unhinged pick in the Metro compared to consensus was the Islanders. Go off.
Yeah, I don't even remember where I had the Islanders exactly. I know they were high, like 3 maybe.
Third.
Yeah. Same kind of similar logic to the Sabres, where I feel like they're a better team than they showed last year. Overall, the last 2 years they've been kind of they have kind of the opposite of the Sabres, where they start like absolute dog shit and then they just kind of can't, you know, catch up. The team is not and has never really been built to like come back. and that works both in terms of like specific individual games and also apparently the playoff standings. So, when they don't have a 22 game road trip to start the season and a bunch of weird freak injuries, and like I feel like they lost a lot of overtime games. So if they they flip a couple of those, they were, I don't know. To me, they're one of those teams that was close. They were close most of last year, and I feel like the danger obviously is that they're not a super young team, but the upside is that they're a team that underperformed last year that really should be better this year. And that was kind of my thought, is that I think that they'll kind of have an upswing there. Wasn't what's his face with 3 names? Wasn't he hurt last year? Like most of the year? I'm completely blanking now.
I don't know his face.
JGP, is he still with them?
Mhm.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he was hurt a lot last year. Is that accurate or not?
Could be. Couldn't tell you.
All
Okay.
I know for sure is that he's an aging player that has a lot of term. So he's an Islander.
He's old balls.
But well, the term doesn't really matter for this season, I don't know. Who's their marquee guy? The guy that's like, I'm handsome dude. He's like 26. Signed a
Martin.
yeah. What? Martin?
Matt Barzal.
Barzal. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like everybody was upset that he kind of underperformed last year, and I feel like he was maybe hurt a decent amount, but
Dude,
maybe not.
he was pacing to go 0-82 over the course of the season.
I was
That's
so
right.
scared. I was
I remember-
so
okay,
sad
yeah,
when
yeah.
he scored a goal. When he scored,
I know.
he went like 17 straight assists without a goal. I was
Him and
loving
Quinn
it.
Hughes, everyone was waiting, just praying that they wouldn't score a goal.
Ugh, I was so
And we were kind of, I remember it got to the point where it was like kind of like what the Phillies did with Bryce Harper, where like we were almost waiting for his own like home crowd to start like fucking with him. Because like I feel like if there's a fan base in the NHL that is like most closely related to the Philadelphia Phillies, I don't think it's the Flyers. I think it's probably the Islanders, because the Flyers fans are just unhinged, whereas I feel like Phillies fans are less unhinged and more just like kind of over it. And that to me feels like Islanders fans.
Fair.
Side note: JG Pajot played 70 games last year.
Okay, so he was not hurt as much as I thought. I thought he was like 60 something, but
Barzal was hurt.
He was hurt. He wasn't
a
injured.
ton of the year. Yeah, exactly.
hurt, not injured.
Yeah,
Good distinction.
Barzal was hurt for a lot of last year, to the point where they weren't sure if he was going to play in the playoffs. Then he came back.
I do. You know what? Now that you say that, I do remember that. Yeah, it was the playoff issue there.
Real quick, Dev, you were
Yo.
the highest on the Minnesota Wild. Care to explain why
3?
you're so confident?
Who did
3 was
everybody
the
else
highest.
have?
3 was the highest. Explain
I had
yourself.
three.
I'm with you, Dev.
What did everybody else have at 3?
You guys are
What did
assholes. Everyone had him at 3 except Jessi at 4.
Okay, I was like, what the hell?
What I said wasn't untrue. I just wanted to hear you frazzled.
I was very confused because
You
I
had
had him at 7.
to me, the division, if you were to tier it, is like, Colorado, Dallas 1, 2 in whatever order, Wild 3 and an island on their own, and then Blues,
Everyone else.
Nashville, maybe Winnipeg if you're feeling generous in the next tier, and then and Arizona, and then in the bottom tier all by themselves is Colorado or Chicago, not Colorado. Wow, that'd be a fun little twist of fate. Yeah, I think the Avalanche are gonna go. They're gonna finish 8th in the Central Division. Yeah, that's my hot take.
Jessi had them at 7, so
That's what happens when you drink Tito's, folks.
Had
Bad
them
So
bare-
that's Instead of that sweet Northland vodka.
Every division, everyone's picks would pop up on the screen, and there would be one team where she was like, "I put them where?" The Anaheim one was by far the best. She's got that fucking rating.
Her defense of the Canadians was enjoyable though.
Yeah, she goes, hold on, I gotta go, but let me defend my Canadians pick. I don't really know anybody on that team other than Cole Caulfield, so I don't really know why I put them there. All right, goodbye.
That's a good defense.
Yeah, it was such a bad pick for her to put them where they did that. That your son is very upset about it. Like we could.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And started crying.
It's a smart man.
Also true. Dude, I can't wait. So my wife is upstairs, and she's gonna probably. And there's my neighbors again. Hey, what's up? My wife is upstairs, and she doesn't even know that I hopped on here. So she's gonna come down in a minute and be like, thinking I'm still downstairs watching football, and she's gonna come down and see that Connor and I are out on the patio, and now I'm half shirtless, and she's gonna be
HOA just called you into child services, and the kid's being taken away.
Yeah, she's gonna be very confused. But then I'm gonna be like, look at him, he's cool, he's making his podcast debut, and then she'll be like, okay, I don't care,
killing it.
Yeah,
sort of beauty.
No, yeah, Z, your line earlier, my brother got me pretty good. So like he looks exactly like if you were like to split the difference between what my brother and I look like as babies. And my brother goes, he looks really cute. He looks just like you. Too bad that's not gonna be very good for him for much longer. I was like, damn, got me.
All right, man. He's been alive for 12 seconds. That's pretty rude. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
I was like, shit.
He's just bored. You're just terrible vibes this way.
Yeah, man. It was like, well, shit. He's got some of your DNA too, man. That's a self burn there.
Yeah, all right, man. Like, simmer down. That's rude. That's your nephew.
What are we at right now? By the way, have like 7 or 8 weeks for the kid.
6.5. If we're doing the whole like, yeah, I know how you love to be specific.
Yeah, how many days? That's what I'm going with.
6. Let's see, 42, 43, 44, 46 days, 45 days.
45 days old.
See, everyone that gets really uptight about calling babies by their like exact month, like everyone's that's just like 13 months. If I was you, Dev, I would piss everyone off. He's 0. He's 0 years old. Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that. I really like that. I really like that.
They're like, well, that's not even an age. I'm like, well,
Kevin and I have discussed this. As soon as they're past 12, if you use
months,
I'm just
crazy.
I'm not gonna be about it.
My thought process is if you get to like whatever the next like milestone is, you know, so like however many days, okay, cool. Now it's however many weeks. All right, cool. However many months after that, then years. Like you just don't go back a metric, right?
It's crazy.
Reasonable.
That's my very basic thought. By the way, you can't buy them anymore, but go to the 10K shop, buy hats, buy merch with the sick gritty logo on it. It is apparently really bad luck. It's apparently bad luck, but man, this logo is fucking sick.
It is so cool. I need you guys to do a purple one with the yellow logo. Jack already knows.
This in purple with yellow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Purple hat.
I have that. I have that in a hoodie.
Oh.
And it looks. I have purple hoodie, yellow logo, and it looks sick. Yeah, shameless plug for Marlowe's design as he's sitting here talking shit.
Oh, Dev, you're supposed to be noticed that Seahawks are leading 22-20.
Sick. Good to know. Against the Panthers, obviously. So, yeah, that'll be fun.
There you go.
Good to know. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate the assist.
I don't think you did anything wild in the Pacific, so nothing too exciting there.
Who's the one team that
the Pacific? I didn't even realize it.
Who's the one team that you've got like other than the Sabres? I guess because we just talked about the Sabres, but like, is there one team this year that you're like they've been missing the playoffs like last year, last couple of years, but this year they're going to just light it up?
It's the Sabres for me. I'm gonna hitch my wagon to them. I don't think they'll make but I think the Yotes will be frisky. I think they'll be fun. Not good enough to make the playoffs. Mostly because I don't think. I don't know.
See the reason they won't make it?
And Zucker. It's really Dumba and Zucker. They're really bringing the team energy down. No, I think with both of those guys, excuse me, with both those guys, they're gonna actually. I really do think that like those are two dudes that are just like such good human beings to have around, and like they're gonna help all the young dudes. Obviously, Hoppy, I know you must be thrilled that Logan Cooley is just like, you know what? Actually, out in second thought, I am gonna go to Arizona. I like what they're doing here.
You know what? It wouldn't have been fair.
Yeah, you would have been guaranteed a national championship.
Yeah, I don't want an asterisk next to the natty at home. So
a Mickey Mouse natty because you had what would be amount to like 3 top 5 picks.
Yeah, not a big deal.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get like exciting and fun. I really like. I didn't put a ton of the Zucker breakaway. That man, I love him. I love him to death. But is there a player in NHL history that has fewer goals off of breakaways? Because that he generates so many.
Patrick Stefan.
Yeah, he'll be.
Greatest clip of all time.
I added that to your clip from that on Thursday, Z.
It's so good. It's the most unbelievable.
It's even worse how the commentator just fucking carves him.
Oh, that like literally like it just ended his career too. Like brutal.
That happens. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to get funny in the Pacific, but like I was looking at it and I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't think any of these teams change very much. And like the Ducks still have like half of their best guys like unsigned.
2?
Yeah, I mean of the guys that have so like because it's Zegras and Drysdale that are unsigned, but like they have like so then of that like young core, then they have Troy Terry signed, and then who else do they have that's signed in that same
McTavish?
In that like this is our future
Hellweger.
core. McTavish is signed. I thought he was just for this. I thought he was one more year.
He's on his ELC.
That's why his ELC was up after this year. Signed long term.
Doesn't he have 2 more years? Maybe not.
He might. I don't know. I thought it was 1, but I could be wrong. I'm not going to sit here and that I know the Ducks contract situation super well because
it might be 2 because I remember the year after like the season once he got drafted his first year like he lit it up for like 8 games and they sent him back to avoid that 9th game or whatever, but I can't remember if he came back later in the year at all. I don't think he did, so he might have 2.
That
sheet. I can bring it up.
That does sound familiar. I think that does sound familiar. I think you're right, Z.
The thing that was interesting with the Zegras thing though was all like the insiders with Anaheim were saying like it's not going very cordial. And then people started throwing out that like Buffalo's starting to sniff around to see like if they could make a move for him. McTavish has this
what's going back in that kind of a deal.
Did I hear that right?
I don't
you
know.
Said Buffalo is sniffing around Zegras?
Yeah, that's what people were like speculating.
Holy
I
shit.
think that Buffalo would be very interested in like
that would be so fun.
Like what's going on?
I can't imagine that would happen. But
like they're basically asking for
Verbeek,
Cousins in that swap.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Verbeek, do it.
I'd rather have Cousins.
Yeah.
You'd rather have Nick Cousins than
not Nick Cousins, you lunatic. I fucking hate that guy.
I have to. It was right there.
I will never forget.
I can't believe you just threw out Z's trigger name.
I will never forget the game.
I don't think I knew that it was a trigger name.
The Bruins were playing the Canadiens, and Marchand was relentlessly chirping Nick Cousins when he was there, and like Pierre Maguire was between the benches, and he was like, "Oh man, I'll tell you, Brad Marchand is giving it to Nick Cousins. He just let him know how the rest of his team feels about him." So basically, like the rudest thing you could say is like your own teammates don't even like you. Everyone fucking hates you on your team, which apparently is what he said. And like a week later, Cousins got traded. That was just like, that is so brutal, dude. Like, that was great. Oh, I fucking hate that loser. He's such a loser. He's such a fucking loser, dude. I can't
I'm not
even
gonna
anymore though because he.
I don't think I realized how strong you felt about Nick Cousins.
It's great too because
I
he's
hate
such like a player's guy. Like he doesn't shit on anyone, but as soon as Nick Cousins comes up, just scorched earth every time.
No, he's directly in my crosshairs at all times.
For those keeping score at home, the shit list for Z: Alex Pietrangelo, Nick Cousins, Jordan Binnington. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's a fair representation, I would say.
Am I missing anybody?
The minivan man is. I think he may always be at the top. I fucking hate that guy.
I put him first for a reason.
He's so brutal. I can't even believe the amount of scrums he comes in late and then just like comes from behind and starts face washing and pretending like he's gonna fight somebody and then does absolutely nothing. Unbelievable.
Fake tough guy.
The biggest fake up.
I had a friend down here who I'm gonna place the bet with him. He has a bookie who basically had odds over under Binnington fights 0.5 for the season. And I'm hammering the over, even though I know that the league will come in and protect him, and he's just a giant fucking baby, and his fucking nose is bigger than his dick, and just all that shit. Like,
wow.
Welcome to the world, Connor.
Anyway, yeah. No, yeah. So the Binnington. Here's some breaking news for you. It's obviously alleged and unconfirmed, but you know, my brother living in St. Louis does have its perks because I get to hear some of the dirt from my brother's wife's slutty friends, basically.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, sounds like Binner is not packing too much heat.
Oh my god! I did not think that's where we were going with that one. Holy shit!
R.I.P.
There you go, Joe Mama.
Anyway.
R.I.P.
Yeah, that's where we're at as a society.
Here it is from our boy John Robinson Z. Hunt took a stick in the face, no call, and Everson actually controlled his reaction with refs.
I'm not gonna. I actually almost tweeted out that Everson was like clearly about to like go scorched earth, and you see it. He just does a thing where like the classic Everson where he just goes.
Wait. I've been out of the loop. Is this referring to Brad Hunt or Damon Hunt?
Damon Hunt, he got hurt bad again, and he took
like
an elbow for a shoulder directly to the face. And Everson was so close to just going snap show, and right before he started teeing off on the ref, he did the.
Hoppy, do we have a ball tally for today's stream?
Let me do it.
Over. That's all.
I'll go scorched earth on him. That's my dude. Whoever fucks with Damon Hunt, fucking with me too. Let's go.
Brad Hunt did play, did he not?
Yeah, he was getting a whole. So unfortunately, the only stream available was with the fucking Avs commentary, which is top 5 most brutal in the league.
Yeah, they're bored.
When the Hunt thing happened, like. What's his face on color commentary was like, obviously, like, yeah, look at that. He's not trying to blah, blah, blah. It was so incidental, so accidental. And like, I mean, he's like, by the way, in the old days, that was a good hit. And it was just like, Jesus Christ, bro, give it up. I think it was fairly. It wasn't
Fake
anything
baby.
like super malicious or anything like that, but he was just like, it was insufferable. But yeah, no, Everson was close, and he just like literally, it looked like his shirt was just about to go like rip because he just did a thing where he just like looks like he's
Like
getting
this.
like chills. He's like, "Stop! Don't do it, Dean! Don't do it!" Look at that, exactly. What if
Well,
that
dude,
would have been incredible?
His
if he
brother
did that.
Mike on Twitter was just unhinged about it.
Oh my god! But yeah, no, they gave a nice little soliloquy on Brad Hunt too. They called him Mr. Hockey.
Sure, why not?
He's a beauty.
I got nothing against Brad Hunt. I love Brad Hunt.
I'm up for any Brad Hunt hype. I love him. I love that guy.
What about his brother Mike? Yeah, I know. I heard somebody say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, known brother.
Yeah, known brother. Listen, with just my parting words will be a cheap shot against all of Colorado media because like it feels like all of their teams and all of their like different form like outlets suck. Like,
yeah,
fucking daters out there. They've got bottom 5 broadcast in the NHL, bottom 5 broadcast in the NBA. Their NBA broadcast is just boring as hell. I mean, they employ fucking Sean Payton.
NBA broadcast,
huh?
It's because it's an NBA broadcast.
I mean that too, but like the T-Wolves up in I didn't touch it last year with the new guy, but like the T-Wolves, they would have these terrible teams and like a top 3 broadcast in the country. It was so funny because you'd be watching like Nikola Pekovic from 3, and you're like, what the? Yeah, okay, they've cut the lead down from 121 to 73. Everybody,
I loved the thing that they would
then
do
now that they're
whenever
good.
Pekovic would score, and they'd be like, Nikola. Best ever.
That and anybody that knows where in the world is Nikola Pekovic is like a real one. Like to me, I'm not a big fan of keeping fandom, but if you don't know where in the world is Nikola Pekovic and you're over the age of like 15, to me, don't even bother being a Timberwolves fan because you're just a bandwagon fan.
I won't bother being a Timberwolves fan.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fair. See? For the uninitiated, for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, they used to like this, anybody who doesn't know Nikola Pekovic, he's like 7'2" Serbian dude who is apparently like a drug lord now, which is great. But like he's this like really like lanky, goofy looking dude, and they would do the "Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego" intro, and it would just like awkwardly green screen Nikola Pekovic just kind of like hopping through the screen. It was fucking hilarious. And then they would do the like, "Where in the world is," and he would just pop up and be like, "Nikola Pekovic." It was hysterical. If you've seen it, go Google it. I know it's on YouTube. It's very, very funny for 30 seconds of your time.
Nice.
But yeah, that'll be my final words before I take a little Connor boy because let's just say one of the two people on this patio have shit themselves, and I'm not going to say who because I'll leave it up to the imagination.
It's not Connor.
It might not have been Connor. I'm not going to say it was definitely Connor. I'm not going to say it was definitely not Connor.
Yeah, way to
could have been me. Could have been him.
Right under the bus. Way to really
Connor,
sewer your newborn. That's unbelievable.
Connor's reaction when he's not the one that shits his pants.
And my wife is also staring out the door with the look of like, wait a minute, why is this happening? Why are you shirtless? Why is your shirt off?
Double middle finger right now, just
yeah. All right. Anyway, somebody shit in my pants. You are all very handsome and wonderful gentlemen. I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna go change my poopy pants. Toodles.
What a great cameo to end it off.
Unhinged.
He's such a beauty, dude. I love that guy.
You guys really could have let me go with that wild bit, but whatever.
Fair enough.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Andy Dalton.
To those of you that were brave enough to stick it out all the way through, thank you. Again, shout out 7th Ave Pizza, Northland Vodka, Better Edge, and Waggle Golf. I don't know, Seth, anything you want to pump here for this coming week for Locked on Wild?
I am very excited to announce that Tuesday, The Bit meets The Bit. Brandon Duhame will be joining the show.
Can you get like a really good Kalen Addison story out of him for me?
I'm gonna try to get a few. I know I want to ask him how he got retribution for Matt Dumba putting all the packing peanuts in his car. As one of the things, his first NHL goal, which was the the stick whiff. All those things will be brought up for Tuesday's episode. So make sure to tune in by listening to Locked on Wild wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Boom. And everyone, Isha's not here. Gun-toting Granny carrying the banner for him. Hit the like, subscribe. Thank you so much. Marlo's request is ask why he doesn't smile.
Probably doesn't like pictures just like me.
Yeah, the thumbnails doesn't like pictures.
I retired from thumbnails.
You were on it hard for a while, though.
I might bring it back. I don't know. It's kind of...
Z loves thumbnails.
No, he does not. He hates them.
You got the... I'm not even going to look up, but I'm going to death glare you off the screen.
You never answered before, Z. What scent is your candle?
I don't know. These are these ended up so these were supposed to be a funny last year. Supposed to be a funny Mother's Day gift, but they came in a month and a half after Mother's Day. But every candle. So this one says
CO2 scent.
Mom, we don't even have. I love that we can not say this out loud, but we all know that I'm your favorite. Like it's like that brand of candle where it's just like very stupid, kind of.
It's
funny
more about
things,
the funny thing on the outside than it is.
I really had to pivot last minute when they were like, "Good news, those candles are going to be there in a month." That is unhinged from Marlo. Not even fair enough, dude. Regret and bad decisions. My candle. Oh. What does that smell like, you think? Regret and bad decisions.
It smells like what Dev just went to deal with.
Yeah. That's his pants. Yeah.
My pants.
Who shit in my pants is so funny.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have anything else?
No. Z and I are at least going to try starting this week Wednesday streams instead of Thursday. We'll see. Maybe he'll show up. Maybe he won't.
Maybe I'll forget.
I'd be shocked.
Ultimate wild card.
Yeah. Wild card, bitches.
Wow, I was just gonna say.
Wild card, bitches.
Oh, goddamn. That's too good. Jesus.
The banquets are just well played. Suitor would have been more. That would have been a big.
No, that's the you go into the corner for me candle.
Yeah. That's the no, that one's called like I will be returning this for sure. Scent. I will be bringing this back and demanding my money back.
Can I buy out this candle?
That's the are you shitting me with these power play numbers candle?
All right. Sounds like we're coming up with candles for the entire Wild squad on Wednesday, Z.
The old balls candle.
I guess so.
It's old balls.
Old balls. Fucking Jesus Christ. New sponsor, Old Balls. All right, I think we've tortured everyone enough. We can probably hit end stream.
Appreciate you all. We'll catch you on Locked on Wild or Judd'z Budz on Wednesday.
I will see you there, or I will see you another time.
Sweet.
Bye.